You know when a qualifying session just hits different? That's exactly what happened in Mexico. Nobody, seriously, nobody expected Ferrari to show up like this. Under the blazing lights and the deafening roar of the Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez, both Ferraris delivered something we haven't seen all season. Raw, unshakable confidence. Charles Leclerc on the front row in P2, and right behind him, Lewis Hamilton in P3. Two red cars in the top three. Just hearing that feels wild, doesn't it? From the moment Q1 started, you could feel something special brewing. The SF25 looked alive, balanced, planted, finally behaving like a proper Ferrari. Every corner, every throttle input looked smooth, like the car and drivers were completely in sync. The grandstands went crazy as both crossed the line, and for a second, it felt like Ferrari was reborn. Even the engineers looked a bit stunned watching the timing screens light up in red. Hamilton's lap, calm and laser-focused, felt like a statement. I'm not here to learn anymore. I'm here to compete. And Leclerc's run? Pure precision. You could sense that connection, driver and machine finally speaking the same language. For a team that's been through endless frustration this season, this was the breakthrough moment they'd been chasing. Before we unpack how Ferrari pulled this off, what changed, why the upgrade suddenly clicked, and what this could mean for race day, take a second to hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. Your support helps us grow and reach our goal of 2,000 subscribers. Now, quick question for you. Did you expect Ferrari to be this strong in Mexico? Yes or no? Drop your answer in the comments. Because trust me, the story behind this turnaround is even more surprising than the result itself. So, what exactly happened? How did Ferrari suddenly go from struggling with setup inconsistencies to locking both cars inside the top three? Let's break it down, because the answer isn't luck, it's science, precision, and a bit of smart timing. Ever since Austin, Ferrari's been quietly tweaking the SF25. Small aerodynamic refinements here, a few suspension adjustments there. Nothing dramatic, but enough to shift the car's entire balance. Mexico's high altitude, more than 2,200 meters above sea level, means there's less air for downforce and cooling. Most teams end up fighting unstable rear ends and overheating issues, but not Ferrari this time. Somehow, their car thrived in the thin air. The secret? Those Austin upgrades finally came together under these specific conditions. The new rear suspension geometry gave the SF25 a smoother transfer of load through corners, meaning less tire slip and better traction. The modified floor and diffuser design, combined with a tighter cooling package, helped maintain aerodynamic efficiency where others struggled. And because Mexico's air is thinner, Ferrari's engine, already one of the most efficient in straight-line speed, lost less power compared to some rivals. Between sessions, the team kept fine-tuning small details, like brake balance, ride height, and energy deployment strategy. Those subtle adjustments made all the difference. By Q2, you could tell. The car was alive. It didn't just work, it flowed. Leclerc and Hamilton were able to push without fighting unpredictable slides or sudden balance changes. It's the kind of confidence that only comes when a car finally behaves the way it's supposed to. And that's what made this weekend special. It wasn't about a lucky setup or weather conditions. It was about months of hard data, painful trial and error, and a team that refused to give up. You could see it in the garage, engineers smiling, mechanics giving nods instead of shaking their heads. Ferrari looked like a team that finally understood its car. But the real test came when the track evolved. Grip improved, temperatures shifted, and yet the SF25 stayed consistent. That's a huge sign of progress. Earlier in the season, just one temperature change could throw them off. Now, they adjusted on the fly, confidently. So if you're wondering how Ferrari found this sudden speed, the truth is it wasn't sudden at all. It was the result of patience, refinement, and finding harmony between aerodynamics and mechanical grip. The kind of progress that hints this might not be a one-off. Let me ask you something. Out of all Ferrari's upgrades this year, the aero tweaks, suspension changes, or setup adjustments, which one do you think made the biggest impact this weekend? Drop your vote in the comments. I really want to see what you think. And hey, if you're enjoying this deep dive into how Ferrari turned things around, make sure you're subscribed. It really helps us grow and reach that 2,000 subscriber milestone. Because up next, we're talking about the heart of it all, how Leclerc and Hamilton delivered two completely different but equally incredible laps that shocked the paddock. Let's talk about what really made this qualifying session unforgettable: the drivers. Because while Ferrari finally delivered a car that could perform, it was Leclerc and Hamilton who brought it to life. Two completely different styles, one shared result: pure brilliance. Leclerc's lap was surgical. Every turn-in, every throttle application, it all looked effortless. You could tell right away that he trusted the SF25 again. When a driver has that kind of confidence, he stops fighting the car and starts dancing with it. Through the middle sector, where Mexico's quick chicanes punish even the slightest mistake, Leclerc's rhythm was perfect. His lap time, 1 minute 15.991 seconds, wasn't just quick, it was art. It reminded everyone why, when the car works, Charles can extract something truly special. And then came Hamilton, calm, focused, and smooth. His approach couldn't be more different. While Leclerc attacked, Lewis flowed. His telemetry showed almost identical mid-corner speeds to Charles, which says everything about how balanced the car had become. He reached over 345 kilometers per hour down the straight, braked perfectly into turn one, and never once looked like he was wrestling the car. It was the kind of lap that tells you a driver's relationship with his machine has finally matured. Remember how earlier this season, Hamilton seemed disconnected from the SF25? That's gone. What we saw in Mexico was a driver who's not adapting anymore. He's owning it. His feedback was calm, his communication sharp, and his confidence unshakable. Third place might not sound like a headline, but context matters. For Lewis, this was proof that his transition to Ferrari is complete. Even the engineers noticed it, both drivers operating within almost identical performance windows. That's rare. Usually one car feels better than the other, but this time Ferrari nailed the setup for both. It's a technical sign that the SF25 has become more predictable and consistent. Two words Ferrari fans haven't used in a long time. So now I want to hear from you. Between Leclerc's precision and Hamilton's smoothness, who impressed you more in qualifying? Pick one. Just drop their name in the comments. Let's see which side wins this debate. And while you're down there, make sure you're subscribed and have the notification bell on. Every new sub helps us get closer to our 2,000 subscriber goal, and it lets you stay in the loop for the next deep dives. Because coming up next, we'll look ahead how this qualifying form could completely change Ferrari's race day strategy in Mexico. So now that Ferrari's got both cars starting inside the top three, the big question is, what happens next? Qualifying pace is one thing, but turning that into race day success in Mexico is a completely different challenge. And if you know this track, you know exactly why. The Autódromo Hermanos Rodriguez sits over 2 kilometers above sea level. That altitude doesn't just change how engines breathe, it messes with cooling, downforce, and tire wear. Teams usually run maximum wing levels just to regain stability, but that creates extra drag. Ferrari, though, seems to have found the sweet spot. Their SF25 maintained enough straight-line speed to stay competitive with McLaren and Red Bull, but still had the grip to glide through Mexico's slower sections, especially that tight stadium complex where the crowd goes absolutely wild. Now that could be a game-changer for the race. In Mexico, tire management is everything. The track temperature, the long straights, the repeated braking zones, all of that can destroy the rear tires if a car's balance isn't perfect. But after watching Ferrari's long-run simulations and the stability they showed in qualifying, There's real reason to believe they can control degradation better than most. Leclerc and Hamilton both reported consistent grip and minimal rear-end drop-off. That's huge. Strategically, Ferrari's best shot might come from splitting the tactics. Leclerc could go aggressive, maybe a one-stop attempt if tire life allows, while Hamilton plays the longer game, ready to strike if safety cars or strategy twists appear. The SF25's newfound predictability gives them that flexibility. They're not boxed in anymore, and think about how that affects their rivals. Red Bull and McLaren can't just run their own races. They'll have to cover two Ferraris, each with different approaches. It's the kind of pressure Ferrari hasn't been able to apply in a long time. Another important factor? Energy deployment. At this altitude, recovering and delivering electrical energy efficiently is critical. Ferrari's improved MGUK management, refined over recent weekends, looked especially solid. That could make overtaking and defending far more effective when it counts. If everything holds together, cooling, tires, pace consistency, Ferrari could actually fight for the win. And honestly, wouldn't that be something? After the roller coaster of a season, they've had to suddenly find rhythm here, in Mexico of all places. It'd be the comeback story everyone's been waiting for. Now let's make it interactive. I want to know what you think. If you had to predict it right now, where do you see Ferrari finishing on race day? Option A, P1 victory. Option B, both on the podium. Option C, outside the top three. Vote in the comments and tell me why. And if you're enjoying how deep we're going into Ferrari's transformation, hit that like button and subscribe. Your support really helps us grow and get closer to that 2,000 subscriber goal. Because up next, we'll wrap it all together. What this means for Ferrari's season, the atmosphere inside the team, and whether this performance proves that Ferrari is finally back. So, after everything we've seen, the precision, the teamwork, the upgrades finally coming together, it's hard not to ask, is Ferrari really back? This qualifying session in Mexico wasn't just about 2 fast laps. It was about a team rediscovering who they are. You could feel it in the garage. The tension that's hung over Ferrari for months, gone. The body language was different. Mechanics smiling, engineers calm, the radios filled with clear, confident communication. For the first time all season, Ferrari didn't look like a team chasing a problem. They looked like a team executing a plan. Leclerc's confidence has returned. You can see it in every braking zone, every early throttle pickup. And Hamilton, he's no longer the new guy trying to fit in. He's become a real Ferrari driver now, methodical, mature, and completely in tune with the SF25. His feedback after qualifying said it all. Short, focused, no complaints, just readiness. It's the kind of energy that teams feed on. Behind the scenes, there's a quiet satisfaction, too. Ferrari's leadership knows this result didn't come from luck. It came from persistence. They've refined instead of reinvented, learned from every frustrating weekend, and built something solid. The kind of foundation that can finally carry them into consistent podium territory. And then, of course, there's the fan reaction. The roar in the stadium when those red cars crossed the line was unreal. Mexican fans are some of the most passionate in the world, and even they couldn't help but celebrate Ferrari's resurgence. It wasn't just about nationality or favoritism, it was respect. Respect for a legendary team finding its fight again. Now, the real test comes on. Race day. Can they convert this momentum into victory? We'll find out soon enough. But no matter what happens, this weekend already feels like a turning point. The moment Ferrari stopped talking about potential and started showing it. So now it's your turn. Do you think Ferrari's back for real? Or is this just a one-off flash of brilliance? Tell me in the comments. I'll be reading what you think. And if you've enjoyed following this Ferrari story as much as I have, make sure to subscribe and hit that notification bell. Your subscription means a lot. It helps us grow and get closer to our goal of 2,000 subscribers so we can keep bringing you more stories like this. Because one thing's for sure, if Ferrari keeps this up, the fight at the top of Formula One is about to get a whole lot more interesting.